Good evening, students. Today we are going to look at the same chapter, the fundamental unit of life, and in that we are going to see about the cell organelles. Last week we have discussed about the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosome, and mitochondria. And this week we are moving into the plastids, chloroplast, ribosomes, centromeres, and vacuoles. Centromere is also called as centrosome. So, what is plastid? Plastid are large cell organelle found only in the plant cell, which is absent in the animal cell. This plastid, the main function of the plastid is to synthesize and store the organic substances. So, what are the organic substances? They are amino acids, proteins, and sugars. These oils. These are the organic substances which are stored in the plastids. So, plastids are classified on the basis of the pigment present in them, and they are of two types. They are leucoplast and chromoplast. So, leucoplast are colorless plastids. Also, it may be in white color. So, if you see a leaf, white color leaf, that leaf contain leucoplast. So, some examples of leucoplast are amyloplast, aleuroplast, and elaioplast. So, next one is chloroplast. Chloroplast is a colored plastid. So, it may be in yellow or orange color, and the plastid containing pigment chlorophyll are called as chloroplast. See the difference? Chromoplast, which is a colorless plastid, and it contains green and other color also, and the plastid which contain pigment chlorophyll are called as chloroplast. So this chloroplast is important in photosynthesis, and we'll see the difference between a chloroplast and the leucoplast. Leucoplasts are white or colorless, while the chloroplasts are brown or red in color. Leucoplasts are cylindrical to round in shape, whereas chromoplasts are irregular in shape. Leucoplasts are found in unexposed cell, whereas chromoplasts are found in exposed cell and some in unexposed cells. So, leucoplast takes part in the storage of food, whereas chromoplasts do not take part in storage of food but is used in the coloration. So, leucoplast can change to other types, but chloroplast cannot change as it provides the color to the organs. So, next we'll move to the functions of plastids. So, chloroplasts provide color to fruits and flowers and attract the animal to help in the pollination and fruit dispersal. So, the color of the fruit, flower, all the things depends on the basis of color depends on chromoplast. So, leucoplast takes part in the storage of protein, starch, and oils. Chloroplast traps the solar energy to manufacture food through protein synthesis. As I have already said, chloroplast which contain the plastid which contain pigment chlorophyll is called as chloroplast, and this chloroplast is used in trapping the solar energy for the manufacture of food through photosynthesis. So for the photosynthesis process, the main thing is chloroplast. So this chloroplast helps in maintaining and balancing of gases exchange in the photosynthetic process, that is intaking of carbon dioxide and outletting the oxygen in the photosynthetic process is mainly happening due to the chloroplast present in it. Can you understand, children? Yes. So chloroplast, this is the main thing and this is the kitchen of the cell, as everything is happening because of this chloroplast, that is the coloration and the gases exchange in the photosynthesis all happens with the help of chloroplast. These chloroplasts are bounded by two membrane. Inside the chloroplast, it's clearly marked into a colorless matrix called stroma. This part is called as stroma, and the membranous system is called grana. Each granules consist of stack of membrane-bound flattened sac called as thylakoid. So here is the thylakoid. So thylakoid pigments like thylakoid is a thing which pigments like chlorophyll, carotenoid, and phycobilins. As you already know that chlorophyll is a pigment which gives green color to the leaf. So carotenoids and phycobins you will study in higher classes. This is not needed now. And the stroma contains enzymes for dark reaction, DNA, RNA, and ribosomes. It later makes the chloroplast semi-autonomous. Autonomous means providing the food by itself, and finally it is semi-autonomous. So these are the functions of plastids and the chloroplast which is present in it. So we'll move to the next one, that is the ribosomes. Ribosomes are the translation factory. So ribosomes are smaller bounded bodies found either in the free state in the cytoplasm or attached to the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum. While we have studied the endoplasmic reticulum, we studied about ribosomes. The ribosomes which is attached to the endoplasmic reticulum is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. So why they gave translation factory means, so there is a central dogma of biotechnology. There two things are main, that is transcription and translation. So transcription means the process of converting DNA into RNA, and the process of converting RNA into protein is called as translation. So this translation process happens in the ribosomes. So only ribosomes are called as translation factory. Okay. They are composed of ribonucleic acids and proteins. These ribosomes are composed of ribonucleic acids and proteins. So this you will study in higher classes. They are not bounded by a membrane. They are present in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So what is 70S? The 70S, the smaller unit is, this one is a smaller unit, sorry. So this one is a smaller unit and this, sorry, larger unit, and this is a smaller unit. So the larger unit and the smaller unit combines to form a 70S. This larger unit consists of 50S and the smaller unit consists of 30S combined to form a 70S prokaryote. This is the denomination of prokaryote. The next one is eukaryote, which consists of 80S, that is 60S larger unit and 40S smaller unit, which combines to form 80S eukaryotic cell. So these ribosomes are absent in mammalian RBCs. Ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis in the cell. So final process of ribosome, that is the translation process, is the synthesis of protein. So only ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis in the cell. Clear, children? We'll move to the next one, that is the centrosome, the central apparatus. It is a small naked organelle which is present near the nucleus in the cell of animals and some lower plants. So these centromeres are present near the nucleus in a cell of animal and in some lower plants. It has a sheath of spindle cytoplasm called the centrosphere. So these are the spindle fibers which is in right angle. This is right angle. So it encloses two micro cylinders called as centrioles. This is one centriole and this is the another centriole which is present in right angle to each other. It has 9 triple fiber present obliquely on the periphery. So if you count here, it will be containing 9 triplet fibers. So this centrosome act as a central part of the chromosomes. So that is called a centromere, which will separate the chromosomes using a spindle fiber to the periphery for cell division. This centrosome is used. Okay. uh, in detail you will study in higher classes. This is the basis. This centrosome is used as a central part in the chromosome, which is used to separate the chromosome for cell division. Can you understand this, children? Right. So they form acetal spindle fiber and produce basal bodies that form cilia and flagella. So by this, cilia and flagella are also formed for this separation. We'll move to the next one. That is, final thing is vacuoles. Vacuoles are the storehouse of the cell. So some of the important substances like amino acids, sugars and proteins are stored in the vacuoles. So vacuoles are the membrane-bound non-cytoplasmic sac that contains non-living solids and liquid content. So this vacuole contains solids and liquid content. They are of three types: sap vacuole, food vacuole and contractile vacuole. The covering membrane of the sap vacuole is called as tonoplast. And in the sap vacuole, that is, fluid is filled in this. So this is called as cell sap or tonoplasm. The next come food vacuoles. In some unicellular organisms like amoeba, the amoeba contains food vacuoles inside its body. This food vacuole helps in intaking the food, digestion process. The whole digestion process takes place in the food vacuole, and finally it excretes out the waste product with the help of food vacuole. So in unicellular organism, this food vacuole plays a major role in digestion and excretion of the waste product. So this is the structure of vacuole. See the structure, and it is what to say, small in animal cell and large in plant cell. 50 to 90% of the cell volume will be the vacuoles in the cell, in the plants. Right, children? With this, we are winding up this unit. Thank you.